good morning, Jeff, or good afternoon where you're at. I'm not sure what time it is. I think you're 6 hours ahead of me, roughly. But this is a quick demo video for you for your KR Sabers Scavenger hilt installed with the Goth Master Chassis and Proffie. This was weathered by Multiverse Props. Came to me like this, very cool. And then I just installed everything for you. One thing you'll want to watch out for, this is an amazing prop and it has an amazing mechanism up here that's very unique. But as soon as I opened this, two screws fell out of one of the fins. So I went back and I tried to check them as best as I could. It's hard to get in there with a small screwdriver, but be aware that from time to time these are known to fall out and they're super tiny. So you might just want to give it a good sanity check when you get it, since I'm sending this practically across the world to you, right? Due to the vibrations of shipping or whatever, just give this mechanism here and all these fins a quick sanity check when you get it over like a table where if something drops you won't lose it. All right, but what you want to do is just take your pommel and twist it counterclockwise just a hair until you hear it click, and then pull it straight out. Now be careful when you're pulling it out. All right, pull it off like that. Come over here and take your time with the chassis. What I've noticed on this particular one, and I've done quite a few of these by now, this particular, the ID or the inner diameter of this saber seems to be just a hair tight. It's not a problem. It just means you just can't be going and ripping this chassis out. Okay, there's a way to take it out and there's a way to put it in. We'll go over the way to put it in here in a second, and then at the end I'll show you how to take it out. All right, because if you don't do it a certain way, it won't come out. But anyway, this is your master chassis. Starting from the back, we've got a KR Sabers 28mm speaker. You've got a removable battery here with a kill switch. You've got your board cover. So if you were to take this off, it's just on magnets. You'll probably want to take it off and get to the board so you can put your own sound fonts on. But you pop this off, it's just 4 magnets. And you look over here and here's your board. I do have a piece of electrical tape over in the back of the board to cover all of my wiring. There's quite a bit of wiring I had to do to make this work, and there was nowhere to hide it. So I just put a piece of electrical tape over there for aesthetics. It also just insulates it, right? But here's your board. It adheres down to the shelf, but if you look from right here, you've got access to your SD card and your micro USB. You never have to move the board. You just need a 90-degree data cable. If you need a link to one of those, let me know. I've got one on Amazon that I bought. It's lasted me over a year and it's really good. All right, but other than that, you'll probably just leave this on. So we'll snap this down in place. It goes just like that easy. Moving up, you're going to find that you've got 2 yellow LEDs right here. Move up a little bit. You've got another yellow LED right in the middle. Moving up to right in the bottom of the crystal chamber, you've got a red LED. The crystal itself has its own neopixel accent. And then you can also open these doors. Right? You can open a door on both sides, and you can get a good look at the crystal. Right above the crystal is a spinning plasma gate that reacts to when the saber is on, and I'll show you that here in a second. So we'll close these back up. This is a 1-button saber, so the 1 button on your is your cog right here. But there's a secondary 1 switch on the actual chassis, which is this little tactile switch right here, so that you can operate this guy outside of the saber. All right, so we'll turn this light off. Come over here and flip this kill switch. I've got your crystal pulsing, and I've got your 4 LEDs, basically your 3 yellows and your red. They react to sound. All right, so if we come over here and turn this on, if you can see if my camera's picking it up good, you got, your neopixel accent for your crystal is super bright. Under that's red, right here is yellow, and then the other 2 yellows are down here. And if we open this up, hopefully you can see your plasma gate right here spinning. Everything reacts to blaster bolt deflex. We hold it down and turn it off. Before I put this in the saber, I will explain one thing that I did. I don't use OS 6.7 when I'm using motors, spinning motors, because for whatever reason, the first time I turn the Saber on OS 6, and I turn the Saber on and the plasma gate's spinning, when I turn the Saber off, the motor keeps spinning. I have to turn it on and off one more time to get it to stop. That's been super consistent, to where I just use OS 5.9 if I ever have a spinning motor. It seems to work for me. I don't ever get that issue. I'm not sure what's going on there. I frankly have not had the time to dive into the Crucible or the Proffie board sites and ask around or try to research to see if anyone's asked already. I just haven't had the time. OS 5.9 is fine. If you want to go to 6.7, you can use the FET263 button prop and you can get motion controls, which are not on this guy. You actually have to use the switches to turn this off and on for now, right? That would be the only reason why I would think you'd want to go to OS 6.7 for this. But just know this is 5.9 and a copy of your config file is on the SD card. All right, that was a mouthful, so I hope that all made sense. We'll turn this back on. If you look at this Saber right here, you've got a screw right here and you'll have a screw right here. They're poking into the ID a little bit. That's to ride along the channel of the chassis right here and on the bottom. Okay, so you put that in there like that and push this chassis straight in. Don't twist it at all. Just push it straight in. Take your pommel. Those same two screws are a J-lock for the pommel. So you can see your J-lock over here and another one right here, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll throw this pommel on. You're going to have to push the pommel forward and lock it in clockwise, just like that, and it will lock down. Now we can open this cog so far to where it exposes
Rey Skywalker.
Where it exposes your stock V3, and then the rest of a fast click turns it on. Blaster bowl is just tapping on the switch. If you want blade lock up, you hold the switch and hit the Saber. Right? And then we hold the switch to turn it off. Just like that. We'll throw a blade in. This takes a 1-inch diameter needle-pixel blade.
Rey Skywalker.
You've got 4 screws up here. And one of them is 1 millimeter longer than the rest. That's your blade retention. And what I did is I came over here and I colored it with a silver Sharpie. All right, so that's the only one. Other than that, they look identical. So I didn't want you having to guess what was what. You'll need a little flathead screwdriver for this. So we'll just back this out a little bit. Back it out about 1 millimeter. And then put your blade right in.
Rey Skywalker.
And we'll lock it down. Get your blade all locked in.
Rey Skywalker.
The switch is a little finicky. As you could hear, it kept going off because I had opened it too much to try to put the blade in. It'll happen sometimes until you get the feel of it. But the entire Saber, very solid. I've got one sound font on here, and then I included the copy of the config file that I made on the SD card so that you could see what I did. Basically, there is 3 blade styles, right? The first one is going to be your main blade. The second one is going to be your crystal chamber. The third one is just a simple white blade style. You can use that no matter what font you use. It's for your rotating motor. Just go ahead and copy and paste that. Very responsive. Turn it off. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and we'll take the blade out. So yeah, everything in here is working like it should. We'll go over taking the chassis back out because there is a a certain way to do that as well. Go ahead and close this guy up. Come over here again. Pop the pommel off. Just carefully pull it out like that. Now you have to take this out the same way you put it in, which means those screws need to be aligned, right? And I'll show you how to do that. It's easier just to show you outside of the saber. We'll go ahead and show you that the kill switch is working. Kill switch right here. Everything's good to go. This is the channel with those screws right on. You got one on each side, right? But if you look and you go down, it lines up right with those silver rods right down here, and right to the middle of your board cover. So that's how you align that up, okay? Or the middle of your battery as well, right? It goes right down the middle there. So you can pay attention to that as you're pulling it out of the saber, and it should come right out on you, okay? But that is basically your Rey Scavenger. If you got any questions, let me know. If not, I will catch up to you, get this sent out to you, and then package this up and get it sent out in the mail this week. All right, thank you.